Welcome viewers to my channel. Today, we're diving into the world of XML parsing using C#. After a quick overview about the basics, we start direct with the practical part for you. First, we setting up a C# project for XML parsing. Then we check things like reading XML data using C#, navigating through XML nodes, handling attributes and nested elements. In the following you will learn a couple of tricks and best practice that I have used over the last 10 years as a professional software developer. So have fun with this video. Here you see a basic example of an XML file with a brief description of its structure. This example represents information about books in a library. Library is the root element that contains all the information about the books in the library. Each book is represented by the book element. Inside this element, you have various sub-elements containing information about the book, such as title, author, publication year, genre, and ISBN. Now let's jump to the code and see some practical examples. Hi, I just created a new Visual Studio Windows Forms project. I show you 3 examples to read and work with XML files. We did not create any big UI or layout for our examples. Just start in the load method from our form. XML, a markup language for encoding documents. Composed of tags, elements, attributes, and text. Hierarchical structure representing data in a tree-like format. Let's load our test XML that you know from the intro and load it into a XML document. This we can do very easy with the existing load method from our created XMLDoc. Here you can see our XML document that we are using for all our examples in this video. We can easy check if this data is loaded into our program by set a debug point after we load the file and see into it. Here you can see the complete data from our file in our new created object. As a next step, we can load the root element out of the data and use a for each loop to loop through all book nodes that are inside of it. This is an easy method to find the data that you need with all integrated data. Let's set another debug point and stop the program during the loop. We can see now into the data from the book node to find out what data we need. This we can use to fetch the right data and show it to the user, or use it in our tool in different ways. With this knowledge we can extract the data and store it into string variables to work with it. In this example we only use it to fill a message box. With a new debug point at start of the loop, we can check if we get the right data. We can also react direct on any issues. In this case, we use the wrong node in the select single node method. Now it's easy to check on this and found the right string. We had just a typo, so easy to fix. So now let's comment out our complete code. This has the effect that it's still there, but it's ignored for now. After this, we can start with a second example how we can read and use XML data into our tool. For this we use as document out of the system XML LINQ namespace. With this we can create a list from elements that we need. This we can also use in a very easy way in a loop to get all needed data. Here we can use direct the element name for the needed value that we want. Let's store it into string variables and put it into a message box like in the first example. You can set at any time and at any place a debug point if you want check some data during the development phase. Everything looks fine. So for now we also can comment this code section out. After this we can create our last example. I use this most of the time, because it's easy and well structured if you work with the data from the XML file. If you want only to show the data to the user, all other options are also very good and easy. For our last option, we have to import a NuGet package. This is a very useful package that I use in many of my tools regarding JSON structured files. For this example, we can create the same object like we did in the first example. Also, the loading of the file is the same. If the file is loaded, we use the JSON converter to generate a string out of the data. This data we also can get out of the XML document itself without using this converter. But we need the converter also in our next step. We can also see inside of the loaded data the look and feel of the data as JSON. Now we use this JSON text complete string and copy it in a special way to a new created class. For this, copy the text. After this, we create a new class that we called book. Let's set it to public to be able to use it in our tool. After this, we can use a special copy function from Visual Studio to generate a complete class with all methods and data from the XML file. After a small modification, we have now a complete class that we can use to generate a data object using JSON converter. With the Deserialize object method from the JSON converter, we can generate an object that stored the data in our data object. After this, we can easily see and use the data that we want. To get only the information from our books, we can easily use our My Data object and put only the books in a new object. You see, it is very easy and very useful if you want to integrate XML files into your tool and work with only the needed data. Let's check if we have the right data loaded to our My Books object. We can also make some changes to reduce the lines of codes to a minimum. To use the data for any part of the program or just to show it to the user, we can do this very easy by choose only the data that we want. So no typos or wrong knowledge of the XML data can lead to any failure in the tool. I think that is in special for bigger XML files with more data than 3 books very helpful. I hope there was something in this video that you can use in your tools. If you would like to know more about this or any other topic, feel free to check out my channel or write your ideas and wishes in the comments.
Hehehehe